And that should be the end. I'm live. Okay. So apologies everyone who tuned into different streams that I'd set up, but let's start it all again. Okay. Try using Restream to stream a few platforms at once. That is a good idea.
I'm going to make a note of that.
Restream. Yeah, make a note of that. Restream. Thank you. Thank you, one cheeky Alan. I appreciate that. Yeah, we keep meaning to sort of address some tech issues here, and then suddenly it's Thursday all over again, and we haven't done it. Anyhow, here we are. We seem to have people joining us on clips. This is brilliant. Someone from Syria, someone from Crypto Gold Rush Wave M Studios. Hey guys, how you doing? All right. Good to see you on. There I am. Hello from London. Good. Okay, how are we all getting on here? NP. From Utah. People wanting to know about quant. I talked about quant recently, but well, I'll see if I can remember what I was talking about. Have there been any updates on Quant Network recently? Hello from Serbia. Fantastic. Hello from Romania. Hello from Yorkshire. Hello from the Philippines, Calgary, Alberta, Bulgaria. Wonderful. Oxfordshire. Lovely. Okay. Saludos from Argentina. Wonderful. Where's all Nick? Where's all my money going? Yes, Nick. I know the feeling. It's it's tough out there in crypto at the moment, isn't it? First of all, before we talk crypto and stuff, what are people's thoughts on the background? So that was obviously the tech is its usual absolute mess, but we thought we'd sort of perk up the background a bit, get a bit more interesting stuff going in on there. So what do you think? Hello from Mongolia. Oh, wow. I love you too. This is great. Mongolia. That must be, I'm not sure we've had any Mongolian viewers on. Okay. So, right. Big Lebowski. Yes, that's right. We've got Big Lebowski. We've got the dude up here. If you can see on clips as well. You can't see this on TikTok, so I'll just do around. We've got another Big Lebowski on there. Get a job, sir. And I've moved that round and probably ruined it. Anyhow. Yeah, I know I've been promising for ages to kind of improve the look of this dark little hole that I live stream from, and we finally got round to it. We finally managed to find a drill and put some pictures up. We've got the live sign. Some of you who tuned in a few weeks ago, we had that stuck to the wall and it fell straight off. Is that your dad in the poster, guy? It sounds a lot like my dad. The live sign, yes, the live sign is up again, and in other news, the live sign appears to be staying up as well. We've taken a lot of measures, but I think we've found out a way to make it stick to the wall. I tell you, we are really leveling up here at Coin Bureau. I can tell you, don't abide. Oh man, good to see lots of Big Lebowski fans getting the references as well. This is great. Hi, Guy, the only guy in Coin Bureau here. Hi from Germany. Guten Tag. Welcome everyone. Okay, so got a few. We'll wait for a few more people to join us, but it looks like evil, not live. Is it backwards on TikTok? Well, I mean, that's TikTok trying to tell you something. That's weird. I must be because I'm broadcasting on TikTok with my front camera, so as I can see the comments and stuff. Your mirror, the sign says evil. Oh well. I've done my best, guys. I've done my best. Look, look, we've got some stuff on the wall. Everyone on Coin Bureau clips can say it can see that I'm live, I hope, when sign drop. And of course, yes, Jerome Owl there in the corner. Jerome Owl. We've also got Jerome Owl's new pal. I mentioned this chap. This is the chap that I picked up from Zanzibar on holiday a couple of weeks ago, and he was christened on the live stream last week. This is Charles Hootkinson. Yes, that's right, Charles Hootkinson. So they will be joining me for the stream today, as ever. Jerome is feeling very pleased with himself, of course, because the Federal Reserve is going to be one of the things that we talk about today. So Black Jade Alert, don't feel too threatened by Jerome. He's fine. He's fine. He's very nice. There's Jerome for everyone on TikTok. Okay, from Oman. Wow, from Vietnam. Excellent. Are you Brits and your odd ways of writing dates? Well, because we put the day first. Yes, you, everyone else, and your equally strange ways of writing dates. I don't know. It always confuses me that. Hello from Copenhagen. I'm excited to hear the update about Elon's action. Hello from the north. Josh, I presume you mean the north of England, or just the north in general, the north of the wall. From Greece, much love. Someone else got stuck in Oman on a boat. Hello from Dubai. Well, yeah, hello from Dubai. That's where I'm broadcasting from today, obviously. When are you going to organize the next Coin Bureau event? Well, I'm not going to organize any of them because that is way, way above my pay grade. But you'll be pleased to know that Macy is working on it as we speak. We are looking at maybe having a couple of events here in Dubai, which may not be of interest to many people, but we are looking to do another event in London next year, I think. I mean, let's face it, folks, you know, this is all very much, we're all very much at the mercy of the bear market at the moment. So, you know, the bear market will decide if crypto sentiment picks up a bit, if people seem a bit more enthused about it, then we will almost certainly do another kind of event like we did last time in London, or maybe we'll just do a sort of slightly smaller, you know, bear market cope event kind of thing. But Macy is on that, and I've said to her that I'm really, really keen that we do another one of those, you know, as soon as it's kind of practical, because the last one was just so much fun. I'll remember that day for, well, as long as I live, because it was brilliant. All these people come along to see Coin Bureau, and it was amazing. Anyhow, someone in the comments just saying, come to Montreal, beers on me, Guy. I would very much like that. I've never been to Canada before. Hello, Guy from Minnesota. Hello there. Okay, right. I should probably talk about. I should probably talk about some sort of crypto stuff, shouldn't I? I mean, I guess I could just waffle on for this, like this. I mean, I just really enjoy seeing where everyone is looking in from. Nairobi, Kenya. Brilliant, brilliant. A lot of people asking about Arweave. Yeah. I was looking through the charts. I was just scrolling through the charts earlier, and I had one of those moments where you just did a double take. You know, it was like, what? Yeah, there was a good article about that on Crypto Slate, which is one of my favorite sites for news, and they seem to be kind of the first to sort of pick up on that Arweave story. So we'll look into Arweave in just a moment. Okay, how are we doing? Yeah, all right. BRICS is missed by Oracle Bureau. BRICS, are you referring to this sort of thing of a new BRICS currency? I saw that on Sorella Moore's channel, which is a very good channel, by the way. I enjoy watching her. So yeah, that's something we should probably look into at some point. The idea that Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are thinking about launching their own currency, backed by gold, which is very interesting. I must say, like, I need to look into that and look into that a bit more. But it does sound interesting. My only note to them would be, why gold? Why not Bitcoin? I mean, talk about an opportunity. Anyhow, okay, so we will talk about Arweave at some point, because that's obviously one of the cryptos that's pumping today. Let's just have a quick look at the charts before we go on. Bitcoin just clinging on above 20K. It's not quite, the markets aren't quite as exuberant as they were this time last week when I did a live, but they kind of holding up, aren't they? They haven't, what's surprising is actually crypto doesn't seem to have reacted too badly to all this FUD from the Fed, or as they're now calling the Fed's press conference, the Powell rug pull. So, which I like. Let's talk about gallows humor, eh? So I'm looking forward to having a look at Jerome Powell's latest shenanigans in just a moment. But yeah, the charts are big. ETH holding up above 1500. And there's a kind of, well, I mean, Dogecoin's obviously the big one. What else has pumped in the last day or so? Obviously, Arweave, for reasons that we will discuss shortly. Filecoin, that was interesting as well. And Flow seems to have had a decent day as well. Hey, it's not all bad, folks. Not all bad, at least not yet. Anyhow, so yeah, I mean, it's not as fun as it normally is, the crypto markets, is it? And well, that's kind of an understatement. But obviously, there's always a bit of funky price action going on, but it really does make you yearn for the bull market days, doesn't it? Okay, so that's a look at the charts. Let's have a think about what we're going to talk about today then. So I am with you for the rest of the hour, for the next 45 minutes or so. Are you still expecting new lows? Yes, Jason, I'm afraid I am. I think we can still go lower from here. It's been a bit sideways recently, hasn't it? I mean, obviously we had this pump last week, which was nice to see. But generally, Bitcoin just kind of meandering along around about the 20K mark. ETH obviously had that nice little pump, which I think, again, was off the back of that announcement from the CFTC chairman that the CFTC at least, considers ETH to be a commodity. Yeah, I still think we have lower to go, unfortunately, folks. And well, I'll go into a few reasons why I think that might be. But yeah, it does feel like we're sort of hovering on the edge of something. Anyhow, so let me just catch up with all these comments here. Okay, right. So I thought what we talk about today, got a few things to say about the Fed press conference, because that was kind of interesting, really. We have obviously the Bank of England weighing in. We've got to talk about Dogecoin, haven't we? We've got to talk about Elon and Twitter, and that's been the real story of this week. It's interesting to see, looking through the media, just how polarizing it is. You've got people on the one hand going, this is amazing, this is the start of a new dawn for Twitter, Elon's going to turn it all around. And then you've got people on the other hand saying, this is terrible, he's going to make an absolute hash of it, it's going to be a disaster. So we'll talk about it in a bit, and I'll give you my 2 cents, and you can see what you think, and you can say, no, Guy, you're absolutely wrong, and you don't know what you're talking about. Dapper Labs. We could talk about Dapper Labs. I mean, it's not good. We'll talk about Arweave. We'll talk about Polygon as well. That's another big gainer today. We'll talk about, I think I got to the bottom of why Litecoin pumped. Spoiler alert, it's not all that interesting, but it could be worth a quick chat. We'll talk about Flow. That seems to be pumping as well. We'll talk about Bitcoin miners. That's not great, is it? We'll talk about this really sad news about the co-founder of MakerDAO. That's terrible news. Really sad to hear that. So we'll talk about that in a bit as well. We'll look at why Phantom is pumping. Obviously, we'll touch on one of the big stories of. It was kind of over the weekend, wasn't it? This Bankless episode with SBF and Eric Voorhees, who I think Eric Voorhees. Shall we just crown him king of crypto and have done with it? Eric for king. He did an amazing job, didn't he? And he's one of these guys. And his Money and State blog, I must say, that I think I recommended last week, if I remember, is really, really good. But I thought he did an excellent job on that podcast. He just sort of dismantled SBF kind of, with ease, I thought. So that was good to see. So yeah, Eric Voorhees to be crowned king of crypto, and I think we should just send him off to Washington to deal with all the politicians. And I think he'd do an amazing job. Well done, Eric. Deribit got hacked. My notes here say Deribit got hacked for $28. So apparently that's not really news, is it? Deribit got hacked for $28 million. I just forgot to make a note of it. And then I've got a couple of recommendations for you at the end, things to mostly listen to. But there we are. Okay, so let's scroll back up. I think the first item on the agenda has got to be the Powell rug pull from yesterday. The FOMC meeting that we had, of course, followed by the now pretty predictable 0.75%, the 75 bip raise in interest rates. Is that the fourth month in a row, I think, that interest rates have gone up by 75 basis points. It was very much expected. This was a really interesting one to kind of watch in real time. So obviously they came out, they made the announcement that, yep, 75 it is, and the markets kind of rallied a bit because, well, for one thing, that seemed to be what they were expecting. The markets love to have their suspicions confirmed. And I think as well, obviously, there's just this crazy amount of hopium in the markets. And I'm not just talking about crypto, I'm talking about stocks as well. There's this crazy amount of hopium that just says, okay, it doesn't matter. It's fine that the Fed has raised another 75 basis points because this means that they're probably going to pivot really, really soon and everything will be just great. And I just don't see it, folks. I just don't see it. And I've been saying this for a few weeks now. I think this idea of a Fed pivot, certainly this year, forget about it. Not going to happen. I'm 99% certain of that. Obviously, I could be wrong. Obviously, it would be nice to see a pivot, but I just don't think we will, I'm afraid. So, yeah, deal with it. Anyhow, but then, of course, Jerome Powell kind of came out and started giving his press conference, and the markets just threw a bit of a wobbly, didn't they? They did not like it one little bit because, well, Jerome basically was much more hawkish in that press conference, and yeah, he was basically saying, he was kind of hinting really that rates are not only going to go higher. What was the phrase he used? Even so, we still have some ways to go, and incoming data since our last meeting suggests that the ultimate level of interest rates will be higher than previously expected. Now, we were already looking between, I think it was 4.5% and 4.75%. This, to me, suggests, folks, that we could next year see interest rates in the United States 5% or more, which is a pretty scary thought. Pretty scary thought. Powell, basically, someone in the comments here, Wolfgang Peck, great name. Powell basically said, you better have savings. That's an interesting point. Yeah, very interesting point. And a few macro analysts have been talking about this because basically it seems to be the case that a lot of institutions, a lot of companies in the United States, and a lot of individuals as well, seem to basically be sitting on a very, very big cushion of cash. And that, I think, is as a result, firstly, of the pandemic lockdowns, firstly, the kind of handouts and stuff that the government, well, all the money that got printed. And then, of course, we had this bull market off the back of it. And obviously that bull market was in crypto and stocks and all other assets, really. So I think it seems to me, and a lot of these macro analysts, obviously, a lot of these people sold the top. A lot of these people made some big profits in the recent bull market, and are kind of sitting on those profits. And that cash is likely to be set aside either to kind of get them through the tough times ahead, or in the event of a pivot to absolutely pile back in to all these assets that are currently, trading at a discount, or so it would seem. So it seems like Jerome and co are looking to basically suck a lot of this liquidity out of the system, because that is the only way really that they're going to bring down inflation, which I think is why we are going to see interest rates climb higher and stay high for quite a long time. And I think personally, folks, that any sort of Fed pivot, certainly not until next year, I think probably even perhaps late next year at the earliest. We will have to wait and see. Obviously, that will depend on inflation data that comes from the United States. But yeah, I think any talk of a pivot is very, very, very premature. So, just let it go. Let it go. Anyhow, how are people getting on in the comment? How are we coping with that bad news there? Okay, good. Thoughts on Arweave and the massive partnership with Meta? Yeah, I'm going to talk about Arweave shortly. That is big news. Having a client meeting at exactly 2 p.m. doesn't help. Oh dear. Sorry, folks. Has the timing of this live stream not ideal for everyone? I thought we were. Of course, Europe and the UK. I have to talk about them both separately now, don't I? Europe and the UK have the clocks have gone back, so I'm now an extra hour ahead of you. So I hope that hasn't messed with anyone's timings too much. Here in Dubai, we've just kept serenely on. We haven't adjusted the times at all. Okay. Oh, timing is perfect. This is good. Well, you'll never please everyone, will you? Can the US government can US government debt afford a 5% interest rate? Good question. Good question. Yeah, it's certainly the US government, like so many other people, is in an absolute pile of debt. But I think, well, I mean, as Jerome has kind of said in this press conference we've just had, and in others, obviously there's going to be a lot of pain from these high interest rates. But the alternative is inflation becoming, in his words, entrenched, or obviously there's that kind of thing, there's that danger lurking in the background of hyperinflation as well, which I don't think we're going to see. But obviously the Fed needs to be aware of this. The Fed needs to get inflation under control. And from Jerome's remarks yesterday, you just get the sense that they are willing to, I think he was basically saying, wasn't he? It's like, it's better to over tighten and then go back and fix things later than to not tighten enough and let inflation get entrenched, or let inflation sort of continue climbing. So that basically is why we saw the market sort of pump on 75 basis points and then start to crash when he started doing his press conference and taking questions, and everyone realized, whoa, hang on a sec, Jerome is a lot more hawkish than we thought. Yeah. So isn't that right, Jerome? Yeah. Okay, so that's the Jerome rug pull. Obviously, yeah, we are now. I was chatting to some friends today here at coinbureau. This is the fastest rate hike in history. Absolutely crazy, isn't it? And G10 countries collectively have increased rates by 200 basis points in the last year or so. It's been absolutely crazy. And of course, we had 75 basis points from the good old Bank of England today, just shortly before we came on air. So that, I'm afraid, is kind of more pain for people back in the UK as well. Anyone on non-fixed rate mortgages is going to be suffering then. Okay, so that was the Powell press conference, the big Powell rug pull. Any other things worth noting about that? Obviously, yeah, there's still this kind of hangover from the dreadful tech earnings that we had last week, which suggests all is not well in the US economy and elsewhere, folks. Now, this again is one of the reasons why I think we still have lower to go, because I don't think the effects of these interest rate hikes are being properly felt yet. And obviously, we still have more to go. And it looks like there's a much better chance that we will have another 75 basis point hike in December. I think the consensus was that we'd probably get 75 basis points yesterday, and then maybe just a nice gentle 50 basis points in December. I think there's now a good chance that we could see 75 next month as well, just in time for Christmas. Okay, and of course, yeah, I mean, I talk about the US a lot, but inflation is way, way worse in other places. The US, it was kind of a little over 8%. In the UK, I think it's 10.1, if I remember rightly. In the Eurozone, it's around 10% as well. It is bad. Do you think 14K BTC is possible? Yes, I do. I hope it's not going to happen, although it would be, a good opportunity for some people. But I still think we could go as low as that. I'm keeping a close eye on. Well, I'm keeping a close eye on macro factors recently. I'm also keeping a close eye on Bitcoin miners as well. Now, this is something I was going to talk about this a little later on, but we might as well kind of jump into that as we've touched on it. So, Bitcoin mining is a metric you've got to keep a very close eye on, folks. Obviously, last week, I think it was, we saw a new all-time high in Bitcoin difficulty, which is pretty extraordinary, really, given the circumstances. That means that there was an all-time high in, basically the number of, the amount of hash power being committed to the Bitcoin network. I think, though, what with everything coming, we've got a cold winter quite possibly ahead of us in the Northern Hemisphere. I think we are going to see, there's a very strong likelihood that we're going to see energy shortages in Europe and elsewhere. And, well, politicians in Europe have hinted, authorities in Europe have hinted that they will shut down Bitcoin mining operations in the event of an energy shortage. And I think we could see, well, we almost certainly will see anti-crypto politicians in the US calling for that if they get energy shortages over there as well. So I think in a way, Bitcoin and crypto as a whole could really be at the mercy of the weather to a great extent, because if we get a really cold winter set in Europe and America, then obviously there's going to be a huge extra demand for energy to keep people warm. And I think Bitcoin miners will be, pretty much forced to shut down then. And obviously they are getting really, really squeezed, not just by a low price for BTC, but also really high energy costs as well. And that is something that's hurting not just Bitcoin miners, but just business owners everywhere, to say, and of course homeowners as well. Anyone basically who has to pay a bill. But yeah, I think this is going to be something that we're going to feel later on in the year as the cold weather really sets in. And I'm told that back in Europe, back in the UK, it's kind of been a lot sort of seasonally quite mild, unseasonally mild. So I was talking to my parents over the weekend, and they were like, "Oh yes, Guy, we've been out in the garden. Yeah, it's lovely." So I think, yeah, we could be very much at the mercy of the weather. The mercy of the weather? The mercy of the weather. So keep an eye on those thermometers, folks. If it starts to get really cold, I think we could see some trouble ahead for Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin and crypto as a result. And obviously, Bitcoin miners, really, they're suffering a great deal. I thought, which was the one, Core Scientific, looks like it could be about to go bankrupt. It's absolutely burned through its treasury. It had several thousand BTC, as I remember rightly, not so long ago, and is now down to its last 20 or so, which is pretty scary. And of course, I think a lot of these, some of these Bitcoin miners, Core Scientific being one of them, also had exposure to Celsius as well. I've touched on those rising energy costs too, and obviously, we're going to see those anti-crypto politicians everywhere sort of jump on it, really, even though, of course, Bitcoin only uses a tiny 0.1% of the world's energy. Well, still makes it a target, I'm afraid, folks. So do keep an eye out for that. Any say about Reddit NFTs? I mean, it's an amazing story, that Reddit NFTs, isn't it? Those Redditors have really, really taken NFTs and run with them, which is great to see, which is kind of extraordinary, really, when you look at the wider NFT market. I think the NFT market as a whole is down 25% in October. And well, I mean, that's a good point to talk about. One of the things I'd noted down here to talk about, Dapper Labs, which is apparently having to lay off around 22% of its workforce. I did a few calculations there. I think they've got somewhere in the region of 600 people. So that's well over 100 plus people that could be laid off from Dapper. And the company cited the macroeconomic environment, and also the fact they said they were basically, they grew too fast, growing too fast. Now, that is pretty much, as I recall, what Coinbase said as well. So it seems to be something across the industry. But yeah, that's obviously sad news, and it's one of the hardest parts to see of a bear market, isn't it? People losing their jobs and all these companies having to shed staff. And it's not just Dapper Labs. I was seeing as well Galaxy Digital. I saw a CoinDesk article rumoring. This is rumoring. But Galaxy Digital may have to cut up to a fifth of its workforce as well. Digital Currency Group is going through a restructuring too. I'm sure there'll be lots of people out there in crypto who won't be sad to see that. But what this does obviously translate to, things like restructuring and cutting of workforce, that translates into people losing their jobs, which is never good news. And what's interesting is it's big companies. Dapper is obviously one of the biggest names in the NFT space. Galaxy Digital, a big, massive company. DCG in terms of crypto is about as big as they come. So they're all feeling it, folks. It is tough out there. It is tough. Okay, and I must say, like, you know, here at Coin Bureau, we're feeling it too. Fortunately, we haven't had to lay people off, but you know, it's tough. Our revenues get hurt as well, our affiliate revenues and all that sort of stuff, and just kind of general interest from, you know, from the crypto community. You know, a few weeks ago, we had 1,000 people watching the live stream on Coin Bureau clips. I see today we've got 637. Anyhow, but that aside, I should say, folks, even though we've only got a few people watching, even though our numbers are down, those of you who are watching, it's lovely to have you. So thank you for joining. Thank you for sticking with us as well through the bear market. And well, folks, you know, you'll feel so much better about it when the bull market comes around. You'll be like, yeah, I was watching live streams during the bear market. That's why I know so much now. That's where I got all that good alpha. Or in the case of Coin Bureau live streams, that's where I got to hear guys sitting around talking to his pet owl. Anyhow, okay. Hey, Guy, watching from inside a crane at work at the moment. Kiwilin Kanto, whereabouts is this crane? And could you be the highest? Could you be watching from the highest vantage point ever? Love you, Guy, and your dedication. Oh, thank you, Wolfgang. Oh, Wolfgang again. My crypto journey, keep grinding. That's right. Keep grinding away, folks, because the good times will come back. The bull market will come back, just not for a while. You've just got to hang on in there, folks. And this is, you know, this is what crypto is all about. Don't be one of those people who kind of came for the high prices, came for all the hype, and then sort of, you know, just dropped it and went off to do something else when times got difficult. Folks, anything easily got isn't worth having, so you've got to stick at it. That's one of Guy's life lessons. That's one of the few lessons I've learned from life. You just got to stick at things sometimes, folks. I remember getting to university back in the Stone Age and really just not enjoying it for my first few weeks. I felt very homesick. I felt very kind of out of my depth. I didn't really know what I was doing. I wasn't enjoying the course too much, all this sort of stuff. But I just stuck with it, folks, and it got way better. And I ended up being drunk for 3 years. So, and it was great. I even got a degree at the end of it. How about that, eh? How about that? Okay, let's talk about. Okay, so we've talked about interest rates. We've talked about all that inflation and all that sort of stuff. Let's talk about Elon and Twitter. This has been the big story of the week. I must say, I was relieved it finally happened because it was just dragging on and on. They had this court case when it looked like Elon was trying to kind of back out of it. And the one thing I didn't want to see was some protracted, long drawn out court case, because that would just been, you know, just a complete waste of time. So anyhow, last week, of course, I talked about this a bit in the stream last week. Obviously, Elon doing his thing, carrying that sync into Twitter. I mean, who else would go to those sorts of lengths for the sake of a pun? I mean, good for him. Good for you, Elon. Do you think we will have a temporary pump to suck in retail savings, then get dumped on? The Fed did say people have too much savings. Trades 8H out. That is another good question. That is another good question. And I think that raises an important point, folks, because, like I say, the bear market is not going away anytime soon. So you do need to be really, really careful of pumps. Last week's pump was a good example, wasn't it? Everyone kind of got a bit exuberant, you know, a bit carried away in a lot of cases. And it can be really tempting to sort of think, it's reversed. Everything's going back up. I must get on this train. You know, the FOMO kicks in. Folks, any sort of pumps we're going to see over the next few weeks, over the next few months, and probably for most of 2023, they are going to be bear traps. So you've got to watch out for them, folks. You've got to be really, really careful. We've got to see those green shoots first. We've got to see that inflation has really gotten under control, because the Fed is not going to make the mistake it made in the 70s and 80s. It's not going to raise interest rates and see inflation drop and then think everything's fine, drop interest rates again, only to see inflation kind of shoot back up again. I think Jerome and co are going to be absolutely determined to stamp inflation right back down. So any kind of rallies we see, you've got to treat with extreme caution, folks. You've got to wait till that market sentiment is really, really up. And I don't think we'll see that until the end of 2023 at least. So yeah, very good question. Be very careful. Hey Guy, which popular top 100 altcoins would you avoid? Oh goodness, I could get into I could get into trouble saying that, couldn't I? A few of them. Maybe I'll do a video on that. Although, you know, you've got to be careful, folks. You've got to be careful about winding up altcoin communities. They can get very, very chippy. Anyhow, I saw someone asking about Eric Voorhees and SBF. Yeah, we'll talk about that. And yeah, Eric Voorhees and Twitter as well. He did make a really good comment, actually. Again, Eric Voorhees, my new #1 guy. So obviously, Dogecoin has been the big winner this week in the crypto market. That is all off the back of speculation that Elon Musk is going to kind of integrate it with Twitter in some way, shape, or form. I think there is a really good chance of that. I did see a great tweet or a great comment by someone saying, actually, the best thing for Elon to do would be not to integrate Dogecoin and just to keep teasing us that he might integrate Dogecoin, basically for the rest of time, which I thought was, yeah, I think there might be something in that. Elon, I think, likes to have a laugh at everyone else's expense. So, you know, I think there is a very good chance that we could see a Dogecoin integration of some sort with Twitter. I think if we do see that, my kind of spidey sense tells me that we'd probably see other cryptos integrated as well. I'm not sure he'd go purely down the Dogecoin route. And obviously, lots of Doge fans in the comments. Great to see. There you are. I hope you Doge Army have had a good week. Have had an enjoyable week. It must be it must have been great to see. Okay, so yeah, obviously I think we could see a crypto integration. I think Doge will probably be a part of that, but I think we could see other cryptos integrated as well. Obviously, Bitcoin would be the obvious one, given that it's kind of already integrated with Twitter. But it's kind of hard to second guess Elon Musk, isn't it? He's a difficult man to get a read on. But I think certainly this business with him taking over Twitter, it's great news in a lot of ways, but I think we could be slow to see any development because, first of all, he went in there and fired a lot of people. Now, this seems to be, I'm not sure whether he's trying to prove a point, or, you know, to make his presence felt, or whether he is settling some scores, or whether perhaps he's just trying to cut costs, because Twitter is not very profitable. He's spent, and he's going to want to get some of that money back. I imagine CZ and the folks at Binance will be keen to see that happen as well. Obviously, yeah, Binance is now invested in Twitter. That could be very interesting as well. That's something we'll be keeping a very close eye on too. And yeah, obviously all the talk with Elon taking over Twitter is how is he going to solve these bot problems? How is he going to make the user experience better? Now, I personally, from using Twitter over the last few days, I have noticed that there is, I think, a lot less spam on there now. But I was talking to a couple of other people using it, and they seem to think there's more. So I don't know, like, is this just, are people's perceptions just off? I mean, has nothing changed? Or what? I'd be interested to see what people thought in the comments about that. Yes, and I think, yeah, someone in the comments there, I think the idea behind the 8th monthly sub is to cut down bot activity. Absolutely, absolutely. And this has caused no end of debate, has it? The fact that he's going to be charging people, I mean, it looks like nailed on. He seems to have all but confirmed it. He does seem to be looking to charge $8 a month in order for people to get this blue tick. Now, the question I want answered regarding that is, will there be KYC involved? Because, you know, if there isn't, and I mean, I'm not saying that I'm necessarily in favor of KYC here, but what I'm saying is if there isn't KYC involved, then surely this $8 a month thing for the blue tick is going to be open to abuse, and you could get all manner of people impersonating well-known people and getting the blue check and just running amok. So is there going to be KYC involved in order to cut that out? I mean, that would obviously, there'd be a lot of work involved with that. And again, this takes me back to what I was saying about Elon kind of firing all these people. Not only has he let a lot of people go, or fired them. But also, I think a lot of people have left as well because either, you know, they've just thought it was the right time, or they're not really comfortable with him taking it over, or whatever it is. So I think although we want to see a lot of these developments rolled out for Twitter, this is going to take time. There's a lot of work that needs to be done behind the scenes to make those a reality. Is Elon going to have enough staff on hand in order to do that? I don't know, is the answer. So I think we've got to kind of manage expectations a little bit with what we want to see on Twitter. I think we will certainly see some changes, but again, will we see them as quickly as we would like them? I don't know. And yeah, it's obviously the bot problem is something that really needs to be fixed. It just makes Twitter just not cool a lot of the time. And then, of course, yeah, there's talk of the Content Moderation Council. I don't know, you know, what are we going to see about certain people getting their accounts back? All the questions over free speech, etc., etc. We've still got a lot to come on all that. But again, Eric Voorhees stepping in. One of his comments was great. Let's remember, quote, that Elon Musk charging $8 for premium Twitter experience means Twitter becomes the product again instead of you. A great point, I think. Great point to make. Eric Voorhees just knocking it out of the park. Once again, he's had an amazing week, hasn't he? Just pearls of wisdom left, right, and center. And this did kind of make me think, you know, I agree with Eric on that score. I think, you know, it's and let's face it, Twitter has to make money in some way, shape, or form. As I said, it's not very profitable. And I guess we all want certain things. You know, we all want the kind of perfect social media experience. And Twitter is a really good example of a platform that could be really cool and that loads of people still use, but has got such massive limitations. It's nowhere near what I think probably most people would like it to be. Oh dear. I'm getting, how are people still able to hear me? Everything is fine. Restart your routers. Okay, stop moving the studio. The audio's snipping. Okay, everyone okay? Can everyone hear me all right? I hope so. Goodness. Whew. We don't want any more technical issues. We started with a technical issue. Let's not. Okay, I'm still hearing you. Excellent. No, I lost you for ages. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. All is good. All is good. Okay, audio's fine. Whew. I nearly touched my microphone there. Dear, oh dear. Amateur hour here at Coin Bureau. Yes, what I was saying, I think obviously we all want the perfect social media experience, and I do wonder whether this $8 for a blue check mark, does that mean, is this a harbinger of things to come? Are we all eventually going to have to pay in order to get these kind of good social media experiences? Because the ad revenue model just doesn't seem that great. Obviously, you know, it's how people like Facebook and Twitter, but especially Facebook, have made absolutely tons of money. Are we comfortable with that? Is that what we want? And talking to people, you know, just kind of anecdotally, I think most people would actually be happy to pay a small amount of money per month, or, you know, maybe upfront for a year or whatever it would be, you know, like like any other subscription model works. I think most people would be happy to pay something in order to get a better platform, in order to get a platform with better moderation, in order to get a platform with fewer bots, in order to get a platform, you know, that's easier to keep a handle on, etc. I mean, what do you think? $1 per tweet. Well, I did speculate on that in a clips video earlier this week. I mean, you know, it's maybe not an entire Doge per tweet. That could get expensive. I mean, that even Elon might struggle to afford that, the amount he tweets. Yeah, I mean, I think Elon is kind of keen to move away from the ad revenue structure if he can. And I guess if you're looking at a subscription model, I mean, does that not kind of put the power back into the hands of the users? So, I mean, in the comments, folks, $1 for a blue tick. $1 per tweet. Yes, maybe not $1 per tweet. Yeah, are you happy? Would you folks be happy to pay a little bit of money for, you know, to use Twitter, to use Facebook, to use Instagram, whatever, and, hopefully get better platforms out of it? I would, certainly. And let's face, I mean, to be honest, I'd happily pay $8 a month, obviously to keep our hard-won blue check mark. So yeah. Anyhow, I'm glad our audio seems to have come back. Anyhow, and yeah, obviously, if people were paying each tweet, that would be revenue for Twitter. So there we are. What else do I want to talk about? I'm noticing the time. Gosh, good grief, we've only got about sort of 15 minutes left or so. So let's quickly talk about some more crypto-specific things. Obviously, the big gainer today is Arweave. Yeah, so Arweave obviously pumping off the back of the fact that it's partnered with Meta in order to store its NFTs. Now, this is amazing news. This is amazing news not only for Arweave, of course, but it's amazing to see Meta go down the decentralized storage route as well. And I mean, this is a collector's item, folks. You won't normally see me take my hat off to Meta, but I do it for that. Well done, Meta. I think they've chosen very, very well there. Obviously, Arweave AR is pumping off the back of that. It did seem to hit that resistance at around $15, I think it was. So I think this pump will be short-lived. But what's also interesting is to see the other kind of decentralized storage coins pumping off the back of that as well. Filecoin, Akash, Sia also pumped too. Now, I've got to be honest with you, folks. I sold out of Arweave a while ago. I got very despondent when I saw that it wasn't storing Solana's blockchain data anymore, that Solana had gone over to Google Bigtable. Ah, Solana. Really testing us this year, aren't you, Solana? So I sold out of Arweave at that point. But I have to say, I love the project still. And it is something that I am definitely looking to buy back into ahead of the next bull market. I think Arweave is a great project. I think I've got at least 2 reviews of it up on our main channel. So do check those out. It's got a great use case. It's got a great team. It's got some great fundamentals. So I am a fan of Arweave, folks. So do keep an eye on that one ahead of the next bull market. It's definitely an altcoin to watch, not financial advice. Obviously, you can't read that backwards on TikTok. So that's Arweave. That's good to see AR pumping. We also have Polygon pumping as well. Now, this, I think, was also Meta related, but I think that news that Instagram was going to use Polygon for its NFTs, I mean, that seems to be slightly old, but I saw today that also the minting of those NFTs is going to take place on Polygon. And then we had also none other than JP Morgan executing its first ever trade on a public blockchain. And obviously that was on Polygon too. So it looks like the big banks are getting crypto savvy. Now, that's not actually good news, folks. We don't want the big banks coming in and ruining crypto for everyone. But it's certainly bullish for Matic today. And Matic was flirting with that $1 level. I just want to go back to the charts and just see if Matic has got to $1. No, still at 94 cents. I think there could be a lot of selling around $1 if Matic gets that high. And also, I noticed another headline that Singapore was also testing DeFi on Polygon as well. So it seems to be there is a lot happening in the Polygon sphere at the moment. Okay, so that's we've covered Arweave, we've covered Matic. Litecoin pumped yesterday. I saw a tweet from Ben Cowan, and he couldn't seem to figure out why Litecoin was pumping. And I thought, well, if Ben doesn't know, then who does? But I did do a bit of digging. I think it was because MoneyGram, the MoneyGram app, integrated trading for Bitcoin, ETH, and Litecoin for US users, which really, I mean, that's not really news, is it? But it is interesting to see all these remittance companies starting to embrace crypto. You'll remember that MoneyGram also has this integration with Stellar for USDC. That is still in the process of being rolled out. And yeah, obviously, the remittance business is something that crypto has the opportunity to fix. And so it's interesting to see MoneyGram kind of integrating with crypto. It does seem to be a sense of if you can't beat them, join them. Some love for Litecoin in the comments there. That's good to see. That's good to see. Nothing wrong with Litecoin. Not enough. Well, not enough right with it for me to actually hold it. But it is. I mean, Litecoin's one of the great survivors, isn't it? You look down the crypto charts today, and you see so many projects just kind of falling further and further down the charts, but Litecoin just hangs on in there. And obviously, that kind of opt-in privacy that annoyed a lot of South Korean exchanges earlier this year. I think a lot of people could be looking towards Litecoin because of those privacy features in the future. Privacy is going to be big, folks. Privacy is going to be big in the future of crypto. No move to earn video yet. No hoping hope, but I did talk about it on the podcast with Mike earlier this week. That episode is going to come out tomorrow. So Mike and I talking on the Coin Bureau podcast about move to earn. We talked about Steppen, and we also talked about Sweatcoin because they're obviously the two big move to earn projects. Both very interesting. I might do a video. I'm going to see how the podcast episode does, folks. Would people like to see a move to earn video? The thing is, at the moment, like, we put out crypto videos on our main channel. The Aptos review kind of, it got a decent amount of views, but they don't seem to be garnering that much interest, which is, one of the reasons why we've kind of focused a lot more on macro stuff. And macro is obviously so important for how it moves the crypto markets. But if people are keen to see a move to earn video, then perhaps we could do it. Guy, move to earn video, please, especially if dot moves is in it. Yes, dot moves as well. Yeah, I didn't look into that enough for the podcast, but certainly we'd cover a few of those big move to earn projects if we did do a video on it. Save that video for January the 1st. Good thinking. Good thinking, Crypto Logic. Absolutely, yeah. This move to earn is going to have its moment in January, isn't it? When everyone goes, I need to get up and move. Very good point. Very good point. Keep an eye on move to earn in January. Not financial advice. Okay, how are we all doing? We've got about 5 minutes left. Gosh, that went quickly, didn't it? That really did fly by. Maybe I'll go a little over time. We'll see. Okay, right. So let's have a look. I wanted to briefly touch. Flow seemed to be pumping off the back. Again, this seemed to be off the back of those Instagram NFTs as well. But I saw there was a network upgrade for Flow yesterday. Faster execution nodes, TPS 5 times faster. Upgrades to the underlying network layer. I'm just looking at this from Flow's Twitter at the moment. So good news for Flow. That seems to be why it pumped recently as well. So, but I still think that TPS score isn't great for Flow, mind you. Any improvement in TPS is a good sign. So keep it up. What else did I want to talk about as well? Phantom FTM seemed to pump off the back a partnership with Gitcoin grants. That was interesting to see. So I mean, there are a few cryptos pumping out there today, folks. Oh yes. Now, one of my team has asked me to ask you folks about Coin Bureau Clips content as well. Obviously, we've had quite a bit of crypto focused content here on Coin Bureau Clips recently. Is that what you would like to see, folks? I've been asked to ask you if you would like to see kind of more lifestyle content as well. Now, I'm not entirely sure what that means. Does that mean sort of more stuff of me and maybe the rest of the team here at Coin Bureau, more of that kind of stuff, more of us doing our thing? Would you like to see more of the people kind of behind the scenes at Coin Bureau? Let us know. Crypto only, please. Okay. Vlogs. You'd like to see vlogs? Really? See, the thing is, I do get the impression every now and again that people would kind of like to see, you know, a bit sort of behind the scenes or a bit more of, you know, what I get up to in my day-to-day life. Spoiler alert, folks, it's really boring. And my life is, I mean, I love my job. I have an amazing job and I work with amazing people, but my life is kind of quite boring. You know, I come in and I research, I get up in the morning and I start looking at the crypto news, and then I come in and I look at crypto a bit more, and then I make a video about crypto, and then maybe I start writing up notes for another video about crypto, and then I look about crypto and I talk about crypto with my colleagues, and then I go home and my wife sort of stops me from talking about crypto, and then I go to bed. I so I don't know. Like, if you think I can maybe get some interesting content out of that, we will see. Only crypto. Okay. You make our life exciting. Goodness me. Okay, folks. All right. Well, maybe more lifestyle content then. I'll try. Maybe shall I buy a diamond encrusted tracksuit and, you know, a Lambo or something, and just go tearing around Dubai and all of that? Would that is that what people would like to see? Would that maybe that would mark the absolute bottom of the bear market? If we see me tooling around in a diamond encrusted tracksuit, is that get a dog? I'll get a Shiba Inu, shall I? I literally live with the Coin Bureau. Good on you guys. Good on you. No vlog. Okay. Well, we will have to see. We'll have to see. Lots of people want to see about dot moves. Okay, that would be the top. Oh my word. Okay. A best of disclaimer would be cool. Yes, I do need to get back on those disclaimers, don't I, folks? I need to think of some more kind of fun disclaimers to do. I don't know. I just a short doc, that might be good. Yes. So yeah, I do need to. I just don't have any time these days, folks. Crypto just seems to eat up so much of my time, which I'm not complaining about. But okay, and obviously going back to that business I see from my note, yeah, Deribit getting hacked for $28. Have to check my notes on that one. Maybe it was a bit more than that. Diamond encrusted Lambo. Yeah, that's what you want to see. That's what we want. Okay, suggestion UK focused crypto advice. That would be good. That would be good. Yeah. Okay. Duly noted. Okay, folks, just before I go, I want to give you a couple of recommendations just for podcasts, really. I saw finally Kobe and Ledger over at Up Only TV have finally, it's been about 2 months, hasn't it? But they finally got another episode of Up Only up. So I'm looking forward to watching that over the weekend. That is that is kind of bookmarked, as it were. So Up Only, I always recommend. That would be great to listen to, and I'm hoping to listen to the Lex Friedman episode with Balaji Srinivasan. The only problem is I need to find a spare 8 hours in which to do that. I had to do a double take when I looked at that. 8 hours. I mean, wow. I mean, there'll be some amazing stuff in that. An 8-hour podcast. That is amazing. Yeah, I love Lex Friedman. His podcast is amazing, and I do like the fact. I do appreciate the fact as well that his episodes are quite long. You know, he'll happily talk to someone for hours on end, but 8 hours. Wow, that is going to be a real test of stamina. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Dave Clark 5. Have I missed something in that? Have I missed double speed it? Yes. Well, do you know, one of our head of research, he listens to everything on double speed, which is why he's able to just do so much amazing work. The problem is that it also feeds into how he talks. So he now talks at double speed as well. And it's so hard to keep up with him. His brain, it's like someone's pressed the accelerator on his brain. So yeah, it's all very well listening to things at 2x speed, and I do it myself from time to time, but you've got to be careful, folks. That's a slippery slope. Soon enough, you'll be talking at double speed too. So do watch out for that. Okay. All right. So I think that's about it from me for this week, folks. We had a little technical hitch at the beginning. How are we doing on numbers? 685 watching. Can I see how many people are watching on TikTok? When is the next bull run? Just hold your horses, folks. Hold your horses. Thanks for the content from Australia. 1 a.m. here. Chris, I appreciate your staying up this late to watch. I saw as well, Australia has delisted those crypto ETFs. I think they delisted them from basically lack of interest. Again, classic bear market stuff, folks. Are we allowed to buy Bitcoin with a digital euro? Good question, Alex. I don't know. I think they may be quite against that. Mind you, having said that, Europe does seem to be a bit more progressive when it comes to crypto regulations these days. They do seem to be sort of moving more in the right direction. Okay, well, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoy. I hope you appreciate the artwork in the background, the Big Lebowski artwork in the background, and the evil sign there. Don't read too much into it, but thanks everyone for joining. It's been a pleasure as always. I hope you have wonderful weekends, everyone. Make sure you get out in the fresh air. Make sure you get away from the charts as much as you can over the weekend. I don't think they're going to be that fun to look at. Lambo is passé. Buy an Aston Martin. You're right, Peter. I will buy a diamond encrusted Aston Martin just because, you know, God forbid I'm ever passé. Thank you, everyone. It's been great to see you. And hey, the live sign or the evil sign, it stayed up on the wall this time. So hey, things are looking up. But it's been great to hang out with you, and I will see you all again, same time, same place, next week. Thank you all very much for joining. Goodbye. Okay, end there.